Today we're taking a look at Not Tonight Take Back Control Edition on the Nintendo Switch. Is this politically charged management RPG getting things right and making a statement, or is it simply a waste of space for your Switch? Hit subscribe, we appreciate it, be awesome, join the family, leave us a comment with your thoughts below, hit like while you're down there as well, it all helps honestly, and with that though, let's get started.
Brexit.
Story, this one is completely reflective of the current political climate in England with Brexit taken to an extreme example, painting basically a picture of what life could be. Now if you weren't British here within 2 generations, you have to leave the country or live to essentially work and meet certain restrictions to keep your place. Here in this alternate Britain where Brexit talks collapse, an extreme right-wing government has taken power. All you can do is work and battle to return to your home where every night you grind away to reach the minimum expectations and just make some cash basically. If you do get triggered easily, I'm going to say this, it's not the game for you. Go play something easier, I'm telling you that now. For everyone else, if you've played or heard of Papers, Please, this should sound pretty familiar because it's, well, the same idea essentially. Check IDs and approve or decline entry. Your role though is not manning a border or anything so important, not here. It's the doors of pubs, clubs, or even moonlighting at the occasional festival and party. This is how you earn your funds to stay in the country that has stupidly turned its back on you. I love the story here, exaggerated for sure, but some of the best satire and storytelling lives on that border of so extreme it can't be real, and they do a good balance of capturing, desperation, a country in downfall, a so crazy it can't be real example of the truth, and then they even blend in some humour for good measure. I will say though, some of the statements, they can be a little heavy-handed every so often, and it does miss the mark. Exaggeration, it's good with solid execution, and I will say it's not frequent, but the comments here, they don't always land perfectly. What it does for sure though, it captures a scary reality where a country you spent your entire life turns against you, and I couldn't help but feel that during my time with the game. It's a sinking feeling in my stomach, if you know what I mean. It's not a world I want to live in personally, I can tell you that now, especially when I actually factor in I'm an immigrant myself here in America. Some of my best friends from around Europe live in the UK. Scarily though, I can relate, I could see traits of the current climate, and I wish I couldn't say that. So gameplay, simple in idea as I say, man doors, check IDs. Basically though, this escalates very quickly. It starts simple, check the date of birth, but then it continues to add more and more. From here you'll be checking the expiry date, checking for fake IDs, watch out for citizens of specific countries that may not be allowed in that night for some reason, watch out for banned customers. Every successful entry goes towards a cash payment and potential bonus for you. This money, it's absolutely necessary for your survival. Without the cash, there's no rent. Without rent, they're gonna kick you out of England. For anyone from the US, a quick note here, remember drinking, bars, all that fun stuff, it is 18, not 21, so you're gonna need to keep an eye on that age and just kind of get that into your mentality as you start playing this one. Now eventually you will make mistakes, so when it impacts your payment, you start to lose money or you start to miss goals. With payments coming up for your rent and your bills and to the government, you may need to start thinking about accepting bribes from people to make sure you get what you need. It's a system that puts you, a person, judged for your own background, your family history, and then it sets you out to judge others on theirs, which kind of makes for an interesting contrast. The difficulty level here, as you can probably tell, moves quickly, and before you know it, you'll have lines on both sides of you, guest lists to manage, higher goals, and simply put, just less time. This one, its aim, everything it's setting out to do is to overwhelm you and drive mistakes. So alongside, paying rent, money has a few other uses too. Upgrade your apartment. It's in real bad shape at the beginning of this game. You would not want to live there. Buy new clothes to gain more respect, or even buy new equipment to drive your future success as a bouncer. For a game that's very much a point and click, clearly designed for a PC, keyboard and mouse setup, it works well within the realm of controller restrictions. Not Tonight, it's made up of two parts, the on the door part where you're checking IDs, and then very basic 2D scrolling segments. These scrolling segments, you'll either be talking to your boss or walking around your apartment. These moments, they're designed to push the story forward. You're able to, read your messages, meet others in your situation, and even check your cell phone. Your phone, there's an app where you can find all the new jobs you can work. Then, for the on the door moments, take IDs, select to either let them enter or deny them. Use the info to check all the dates, look at your guest list. Generally, I will say controls work great during the 2D scrolling and the on the door moments. Yeah, there's definitely quite a bit mapped to the controller for sure, the buttons, the D-pad, the joysticks, but it all works really well and you get used to it pretty quickly. I've got to give it to them, they've done a great job of transitioning, as I say, from PC to Switch. As a final addition here, we also get Not Tonight, One Love. This was originally released on PC as an expansion. Here, gameplay follows one of the character's attempts at finding love after he flees England and moves to France to open a new bar. His one in England actually got destroyed. It's a fun little addition that definitely skips a large part of the political nature of the original, focusing instead here on more like scams and just moving on with your life. It was a nice change of pace though, for sure. Overall, for the most part, gameplay really works well. It's a repetitive gameplay loop, that's for sure, but it's an enjoyable one. Yeah, I'm not going to deny this one, it's an acquired taste. It's basically glorified menus that provide a high and very quickly ramping level of difficulty. But I'm telling you now, it's sure to challenge most of you out there, and it's a lot more exciting than it may sound. My only request with gameplay, this was a perfect opportunity to make the most of the touchscreen, and they failed to implement it, and I just don't know why. This setup of, selecting IDs, letting someone in, it would have been perfect for a quick tap of the screen. It seems to me like this was a simple miss that could have added to the whole immersion of this experience. Okay, so graphically speaking, this game, I like the style. It's going for that retro pixel look, but I will say there's a lot more going on than you typically find with that style. It's definitely kind of complicated over kind of simple. Pretty much immediately you'll notice there's a split screen effect. That's the whole way throughout the game. We have what's happening up top, so the location, so the door of the pub or your apartment, and then down below, the bottom half, that's the majority of the gameplay. So think the cell phone to accept jobs, the IDs, zoomed in shots, the queues waiting to get in, your messages, it's all there. It's simple to navigate through, and that was key for this one to succeed. Visually speaking though, this one also, I will say, it's very good at balancing this almost colourful and vibrant world while showing your existence within it and the struggles you face. Very grey, dirty apartment, cracked ceilings. It's a good visual balance to reinforce the storyline we are presented with, where one group of people may be getting one experience, but another group seeing something very different. I will say finally though, handout or docked, it's a fantastic looking game. So audio wise, we don't get too much, but what we do have here, again, great work. Sound wise, there's very little you can do honestly with, handing over IDs and all the menu options. But here expect, the occasional clicker sound, muffled dialogue sounds. They're not actually saying anything, but it definitely gives the impression someone's talking. Not Tonight though, it's the execution of the environments and music that steals the show. The venues are great from, hearing people having a good time behind you, partying. The music gets louder and quieter as the doors open and close. That was my favourite touch from the audio front, and overall music, sound, some really nice touches here. So that's it, Not Tonight. It joins the Switch, and what a unique game it is. Not only do we get the base game experience, but it even includes the expansion Not Tonight, One Love. This one, I will say, it's not the cheapest. It's coming in at $24.99 in the US, £19.49 in the UK, or €23. But I gotta be fair, we get a ton of content. It's also in line with pricing on the PC too. It's actually a little bit cheaper. We don't get the soundtrack, but that's about it. So it's nice to see we haven't got like a Switch tax being added here. The whole experience, it's a unique one, that's for sure. It's created for a very particular audience too. Not only is the story, directly making a political statement, but its gameplay is that of a niche market. Incredibly stressful menu-based gameplay. With that being said though, kudos to the developers here for making something that they obviously stand behind and believe in. So often developers are scared to make a statement because it obviously cuts down the market they can sell the game to, but not here. They had something to say, they wanted to make a commentary on something, and they went out and they did that. Triggered easily though, as I say, you should stay away for sure. Today I'm awarding Not Tonight, Take Back Control a great 8 out of 10. It was such a unique experience. I loved my time with it. There's nothing else on the Switch like it. And yeah, it took some influences from Papers, Please and Masterpiece, so they choose their influences wisely, that's for sure. And I will say they've still put their own stamp on the whole experience. I strongly recommend this one for the right audience. Thanks so much for watching. Hit like, hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment below with your thoughts and what do you think about politics making their way into games. With that though, we'll see you all on the next Gaming X.